After a controversial game one, it's time for the second in this best-of-3 elimination team tournament series between the Canadian Vietnamese and 3D Clan. One and all, welcome back to for Action. Dude, this has been a pleasure. One game in already and an absolute banger, and now we followed up with more of Anatan's HRE. Somehow just keeps on reverting to it, but on a cool map. I love this map. Gorge is so fun. Honestly, it's actually incredible to watch Gorge. I think Gorge is like one of the best maps you'll have for team games. There are some that have maybe delivered more memorable ones, but on average, Gorge brings some of the best. In fact, Gorge has brought us the best game of the tournament, if you guys remember. The one that had about 4 or 5 comeback stories within one. And actually, I believe that... Was that the one that had Puppy Paw in it? I think it might have. That was the show match, actually. That was Team America versus Team Vietnam. So yeah, pretty cool one here, having double Lombo facing, right? You've got Byzantines in English. However, this is a bit wild. Morgan, I don't know what happened with the spawn, if that was intentional. Sticking a longbow spamming English player at the absolute back is a big mistake. Typically, the back roll is reserved for cavalry civs, like French, like Rus, because it takes way too long otherwise to get into the fight. So the fact that like Wham is going to be playing cavalry is closer to the front line than an English player. Same with Jeanne. It seems a bit odd here. We'll see how it works out for them though. Scatterbrained already pumping the Lombos to the forward. Puppy Paw, he did already get the arrow slits outpost up, so won't be easily buffered off the food. Really important because he needs that to get his hands on initial Lombos or Javelins. I guess Javelins making a lot of sense here. You're against opening Lombos. You've got a backup Byzantine player that could potentially provide Javelins. Probably not going to from this position. Alright, what do you guys think, by the way? Ones, if you think that we're going to get game 3. Twos, if you think that this is 3D Clan rolling it. Like, you look at the draft, you look at the way they've been playing. Still talking about drugs? And is there not an aspirin issue? I know there's like a painkiller issue. What's the painkiller in America that like was causing a huge like issues? An epidemic, if you will. For a very long time. Because we have like different... It was fentanyl, was it? Okay. Oxy, could be Oxy. It worries me that you are all coming out with different... You see the problem here? Yeah, Oxy sounds correct. Isn't that like... was it oxycodone? Is that what it's called? Jeez. You guys got all those things in your cupboard? Look, my ankle really hurts. So do you want to maybe ship some to me? I don't know if that's legal. I mean, it's not like there's a recording of me requesting the drugs or anything. So a little bit of pressure coming in, and it is going to be longbows. Kind of makes sense. Javelins can be better here, but the problem is the initial range. You might just get swarmed before you get enough javelins to beat longbows. That's usually the tricky part about why English longbows can beat the javelin contract from the Byzantines. The numbers just get fudged, right? Like, in theory, javelins will beat longbows, but when you're outnumbered, that's not the case. And because of the limited production speed, due to the fact you need to get olive oil for them, it just doesn't favor you. Backside, what have we got over here? It is javelins. That's such a long walk, man. There's so many question marks from both sides on where the players are on Gorge here. I guess it's a little bit better for the Southside team, the Canadian Vietnamese, because the Lombos should be the last thing to die, whereas Javelins will die quicker, right? Because they'll be closer to the front line than Lombos. Outpost crawl attempt here by B. Wait, why? We got Javelin rushing? He went for the Saharan Trade Network. Guys, remember, the change they made with this is you now get Javelin emplacements that only cost gold, no stone to build, and are better than standard arrow slits. It's a cute idea, but if there is any civ in the game that you do not outpost rush, it's English, because of longbows, right? Earlier than that, short bows. You're up against double longbows, and you're essentially trying to outpost rush. That's so wild. Puppy Paw, in the meantime, is now on his way to H3, so we have got a rush tech here by Puppy Paw. Cataphract's pretty impactful here, right? I mean, yes, there's the spears, but you've got double longbow to clear that. What mercs in trade post? Oh, you're adorable. You assume we're going to go build the neutral trades. We'll talk about it if it comes in. Neutral trade posts, mercenaries isn't really a thing very often in team games. Like, maybe if you're 50 minutes in a game, but it's not like Lipany 1v1 where we saw Anatan is really great at using the neutral trade post nearby. A bit of a dive in here. Anatan, a bit ambitious with those spears. It's got plenty to throw away. It doesn't mean you should just lob them into the ether, though. Javelin count at least looking good from B. Kind of wild now that I think about it, that we got double Javelin, double Lomba. However, Wham's the biggest problem I'm seeing here. These mounted samurai are going to get really scary. It does look really good for 3D Clan though. This is kind of wild. Like, it's a very Zergy early game oriented approach, but makes sense on a map like Gorge because your opponents are so close. And KS Cat immediately sending in the Kara Siphons. Whew. Well, you know how we make the best olive oil in the world. We have to deeply heat it. This kind of looks like friendly fire. Byzantine on the Byzantines here. So outpost does go down. We're going to make their way in. But remember, Puppy Paw wasn't really about that mass olive grove life. Tech up is at least complete, but he needs to get the gulpers fast. Otherwise, he's going to be gulping for different reasons. Knights now heading in. 8 Jury Spears quick to react to this. They have to be due to the Lombo mass. Damage needs to add up to something more fast here. The Kara Siphons are on the primary TC, and wham! He's headed into the economy. He knows he can't take the fight directly, so he starts to attack them on the back. Pretty smart choice here. First few can go in, the rest can look to reinforce this fight when the numbers start to get a bit more shaky. For now, 3D Clan looking almost unstoppable here. Military lead is still really healthy. First cataphracts have started to arrive though. Although they can die. They take an insanely long time, especially because of this here, the system of the first heal. Remember, the gulps will allow you to heal up pretty efficiently. Looks like the back mounted samurai at least starting to get culled a little bit, but that's also baiting away reinforcements. So when you think about the raw military numbers, it's more like 45 versus about 65, I'd say. That's bad news, actually, for 3D Clan. Because remember, these mounted samurai are now on the front line to fight. Villagers able to repair the TC. Another Kara Siphon down here. Knights ready to assist. And the spearman count does not look good here. Anatan, he needs more to hold this back. In fact, if they just A-click in right now, they could wipe the Longbow jab mass. Spears chase away the mounted samurai, but that means the French Knights aren't being addressed, aren't being blocked. The mounted samurai, after a game of ringing rosies, it's time to pocket a load of posies. They move in. 3D Clan, at risk of losing this game too swiftly here. They need to hold firm. Second wave of spearmen do arrive from Anatan. He's doubled down on the production. It seems like things slowed down for a moment, plus the fact that he was cutting the raiding forces meant that he didn't have any spears here. Morgan does have a lot of longbows still in reserve though, folks. This is problematic. When you think about the raw numbers of what really matters here, longbows versus javelin longbows at its heart is the most important thing right now. At least in terms of getting damage done, right? Like spearmen plus the mounted samurai and knights, it's more about them staring at each other but never really committing. The outcome of this game is really decided by the ranged units here. No signs of teching up still for 3D Clan. I don't think they've done enough damage here, folks. I mean, yeah, they hurt Puppy Paw. He got dented a little bit, but he survived it, right? TC's still alive. He has Castle Age. It's double Castle Age, in fact. And, you know, we were talking in Game 1 about how the games where the Canadians have looked really good with the Vietnamese players is the ones where the Canadians are able to get the edge by teching. It's happened here. Funnily enough, this always happens on Gorge as well. Safe as a stick going after Grand Winery, something a little bit easier, but it doesn't really give you anything. Behind this, we have got Wham moving for a second TC on the flank, so a lot more power coming out the Japanese in the coming minutes. This is an all-in. At this stage, if you're not making a switch to a tech play, you're never making a switch to a tech play, right? Because now if you back off, you've reached this convergence point where the quality and quantity of these Castle Age units is going to be too high. 13 Mounted Samurai, 4 Cataphracts. A lot of Lombos. Upside is at least Puppy Paw isn't really gathering additional berries, so you're not seeing lots and lots of Lombos coming out, right? Because that would make this impossible. Anatan has 45 spears. Oh my... But so many of them are just running around after Cav. There's not many defending the main mass here, which is why you got Cat compensating with Limitane. This game is crazy. Now Samurai are knocking the door again. The thing is, Anatan has so many spears, but so many of them are not here. Nice go in. And spears coming in from the side means that the Lombos can sweep him. Gets the splintering. Kari Siphons all being taken down here. And Anatan, the numbers might suggest he has enough spears, but he's trickling them in, which is a situation in which Knights can beat them. Continues to push back. All of a sudden, military numbers reaching equality here. Anything but when you think about the quality of the individual units, though. Eric has got H3 on Jeanne. Sorry, Jean. And I think 3D Clan might be done in this game. I mean, B could maybe be the saving grace if... no, B is not going to be the saving grace. I was about to say, if there's a Fulani on the way, that could be a way back into this game, but he hasn't even set up the ranches. At this stage, 3D Clan is hard stuck in the feudal age. Damn. This is crazy. I'm actually impressed. I mean, considering that their opponents were spamming so many spears, the fact they just made Cav work like this shows you the power of Lombos, though, right? Like, Lombos, the true counter to mass spearing, even if you're playing HRE. I think 3D Clan got a little bit too ambitious with a very quick end of the series. As a result, they're going to have to go to a deciding map, and I can confirm that it looks like that is going to be on Baltic, where we've seen 3D Clan look brutal, almost unbeatable. After what we've seen out of the Canadian-Vietnamese fusion here, perhaps they'll have what it takes to knock 3D Clan out of the $1,000 tournament. Either way, it looks like it's going to take that third game. Pushback continues. Knights now scurrying their way through the backline ecos. What's already a 20 eco lead is undoubtedly going to extend, and Anatan doesn't want to be a part of that anymore. He waves the white flag. GG gets called. Game 3 is going to be required here. Crazy hold coming out. Puppy Paw, while being the front player, is able to tech up to H3, hold them back, not lose the TC, and recover the game. Remember that Gorge game, Team America, where he pretty much carried 4v1? Is it me, or is Puppy Paw the uncontestable king of Gorge? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.